would certainly agree that those are some of the people making some of the most interesting music in New York right now. I think Lydia kind of occupies a little bit of a different territory. She's not really as much of an improviser as the other people who you named. But the fact that some of us have worked with her certainly infuses a certain characteristic in our music, and it kind of there's a kinship there in terms of the aggression between the no-wave scene and the creative music scene, I would say, at large, among the people who you just named, especially like myself and Weasel and Henry. But that's not necessarily, I mean, we're all kind of improvisers, but it's pretty fluid between stuff that we're composing and stuff that we're improvising. So I wouldn't say any of us are even really primarily improvisers. I mean, we do that, but I think that for most of the people who you listed, we all have a compositional focus and a band focus and creating some kind of dynamic as a band leader and as a composer as well. Yeah, as far as the larger improvised music scene, I think that actually both in Europe and in New York, it can be a bit conservative, actually. It sounds a lot like either 70s loft jazz from New York or like European free jazz from the 70s. The sort of extended technique heavy stuff that's going on. And I think that one of the reasons why a lot of people are focusing more on band leading and composition now rather than improvisation might be because, you know, it's an attempt to try to push forward out of that sort of stagnancy. But it's a little bit surprising, I guess, because the music is still perceived as avant-garde. It's still called avant-garde. It's still called experimental, even though a lot of the improvisation that's going on, not among the people who you just named, but among the scene in general is really quite conservative. It's, in a sense, more conservative than pop music. I mean, if you look at the history of pop music in the last 20 years, it's developed a lot more than improvisation. I mean, there's a certain nuance, there's certain subtleties that have changed over time, but really, it hasn't moved with the leaps and bounds that it did in the 70s, I mean, or the 60s or the 50s for that matter. When you consider the fact that, I don't know, the difference between Kind of Blue and Ascension, it's, you know, only a few years. It's just like a total world of difference, and then you consider the difference between, I don't know, either what was going on in like the sort of downtown John Zorn scene in the 70s or what was going on in the UK in the 70s compared to like a lot of stuff that's going on now. It's a little bit different, but it's not really moving with the same force. So I don't know, I think people are a little bit restless about that, and everybody's a little bit aware of that, I think, and I'm not, and people are trying to push to the next level.
So we met last September in Sapporo. Just my friend, saxophone player Nonoko Yoshida in Japan, she was introduced to me, the Chris Pitsiokos coming to Japan, and the very first impression was, I can't read this name. That's my first impression. But anyway, I checked recordings, YouTube, and it sounds really interesting. So that's why I decided to work with him together. That was just a few months ago. Then afterwards, we have a chance to play in States New York, then Europe. So we already kind of worldwide collaboration now. Probably everyone says same things like we don't know. I don't know anything about the future. But I think the sound of this room is really special. I think like
2-second reverb.
Yeah. Maybe the duet, but also collaborate with this room.
Yeah.
That will be fun.
That's the other thing I've noticed. Actually, it's like Otomo. You're always playing to the room. In a way, I think.
Yeah.
It's always an improvisation with the room as well.
Space,
The
room.
feeling of the space.
We can hear the sound from the bird during the sound check. I hope we can hear the bird sound during the concert.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe too late. They're gonna be asleep.
Maybe it'll be insects then.
Oh yeah, insects, or maybe monkey. No.
We'll hear something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know, but last few years I am really interested in working with the kids, especially handicapped kids. So interesting, really open, really free, more than musicians. So I'm always fun and also on the same time really difficult to work with them. But that's fun, it's really fun. Yeah, last few years my focusing is working with the handicapped kids in Japan. Yeah, they can go any direction, even in the concert. During the concert, someone just running up to go outside. So someone just stay and sleep on the stage. That's amazing. Yeah. I like to be something like them next 10 years. Yeah. It's not from me. The start from some Japanese musicians like Tatsunimoto, Sachiko-em, this kind of people started. And I was so excited to went them concert, especially almost 20 years ago they started this kind of music. And for me it was really fresh because before that I was playing really just like a noise music. But they play like a kind of really opposite music. And they really influenced to me. Yeah, so I just always follow to someone. Nothing, do anything new things. But yeah, I don't know. Future project.
Do you have are you going to release an album with the handicapped kids?
Yeah. 10 years ago we recorded, but maybe we need to make a new album.
Okay.
But it's so difficult to recording because they don't care about the microphone.
Yeah.
Always running up.
You just have to use only room mics. Like.
Oh yeah. So that's why always the sound is little bit far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about my future.